Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Wilbert Does. Today we're going to be looking at a couple things on the wife's 2013 GMC Yukon Denali edition. I don't know if that really matters much, but um, we are going to replace a broken motor mount and do a quick diagnostic. It's got a check engine light, so we'll run through that real quick, and I'll show you guys what I do for that. So hold on. All right, man, we're going to try to film one-handed and then see what we can do here, but it's already through the check engine light, so I don't really have to start the vehicle, but I am going to just insert the key and turn it on. Right, I don't know if you guys can see that. Pretty low miles for the year, 109,000, but underneath the dash here you got this little port, and I know there's tons of videos and almost everybody knows this already, but for those of you that don't, there's a little port here that you have a scan tool, whatever flavor you like. All right, and it's usually just as simple as plugging it in, right? And I'm gonna hit enter. Looks like I have two codes. I'll hit enter again. Enter for those. Fault 1, pending 1. Okay, so one code. Let's see what it is. 0523. And then the pending is 0523. Let me take a quick look on the interwebs and see what that comes up as. Okay, I'm back. So the 0523 is kind of what I suspected given the symptoms that I had. I'll show you. We get up here. I did start the truck. It gave me a low battery voltage warning, so we'll let her run for a little bit. I need to back it up and make a little room for the ramps, but that right there, let's see if I can get it to focus. Yeah, 0 oil pressure, right? And the code itself is for the oil pressure sensor high voltage reading. So it's telling me I've got a faulty oil pressure sensor, which is fairly common for this era GM vehicle, from what I understand. So, yeah, I guess that'll be another video one day when I tear the top of this motor off to get to it. But at any rate, she runs smooth like a champ. But so that's that. For those of you that don't know, if you have a check engine code, it will not remote start. It's kind of interesting. But anyway, let me go ahead and back this up. I'm gonna set you guys up on a tripod. Hopefully the wind's not too bad today, and then I'll get this put up on some ramps, and then we'll get started on the motor mounts. So I hope you saw that I showed you. I'm trying to practice some safety. You do kind of always want to chalk your wheels to keep you from possibly having a vehicle fall on you. But yeah, I'm gonna let this run for a few more minutes to kind of make sure the battery's still good. Then we'll turn it off, let it cool for a bit while I get my tools ready, and then we'll get after it. See you in a bit. Okay guys, I'm back. It's been several minutes. I think it's probably cooled off enough to get in there with my hands, but get you in here where you can see, try to stabilize it a little bit, but hopefully the wind isn't too terrible for you guys. But that right there, see the heat shield, there's 3 bolts, one there, one over there, and one here, and then there's 4 bolts that hold it to the engine block itself. So that's what we got to get out. Should be pretty straightforward. This is a 2-wheel drive version, so I don't have the 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive axles and stuff to deal with. I should be able to work around this fairly easy and get it out. But yeah, if I bring you down under, I'll show you kind of what I've got going here. I've got my jack. It is underneath the catalytic converter, and I'm going to use that as the support for this side of the engine when I get the mount out. And what happens is that this is a 6.2, and it happens with all of them, but the big engine makes a lot of torque, and when you're driving, when you press the accelerator, this engine torques towards the passenger side like this, right? So your passenger motor mount usually stays pretty good, but the driver's side is what takes all that torque, and what it does is it separates this rubber piece here, and it kind of splits it in two. And one of the symptoms that you have is that when you press the gas, you hear the clunk. You'll hear that. It's a pretty loud thud that just clunks, right? So let me see what I can do to get under there. I've already messed around with some tools, super long extensions. It's probably just going to be better for me to use a regular ratchet wrench and a 15mm 6-point socket and try to attack this from the bottom. So I'm going to try to set you guys up here where you can see. I'll crawl underneath, and then we'll go from there, see what happens. Maybe I come back to the top, try to zip it, but I don't really want to put the impact on 17 extensions. So let me get you set up, and I'll be right back. All right, I think this is probably going to be about the best view that I can get you given the compartment layout. But I'll get under there. We'll see what we can do. Maybe I hit it with some penetrant oil kind of before we get started here real quick, just to, I don't know if it'll actually do anything, but we'll do that, and then I'll hit it from the bottom as well. Yeah, let's get to it. Yeah, underneath the bottom you can see that these engine mount bolts are sticking out pretty good, so I'll hit them from the bottom with some penetrating fluid as well. just to make it a little easier when the time comes. Start breaking them free. Now, since I can't see very well what it looks like up there, yeah, I'm going to have to come in from the back side where the jack is. That's fine. This is all okay. Don't really like the way that feels. There we go. Now I'm taking these three off first because even if the bolts are not in it, that mount will still support that motor. So I'm trying to leave as much tension off the jack and this catalytic converter as I can. Taking a look at the other side, it needs to be replaced as well, but I don't know if I'm gonna. It looks a lot more intrusive with a lot less room to work, so I may just let the passenger side ride the way it is. Well, I think I can probably zip that out now with the impact from the top now that it's loose. Let me see what I can do about getting on this one in the back. And don't tell me that's a bigger. No, can't be. Let me bend that out of the way a little bit. Oh yeah. The engine looks pretty clean. It looks like I do have a oil leak starting to form, and I noticed it. I don't know if you guys did up there. I'll show you what I'm talking about, but it looks like I've got some valve covers that are starting to weep. So unfortunately, when I start working on that oil pressure sensor, I'll have to. That's pretty intrusive, and I'll kind of show you guys some of that too, what all I'm going to have to do, but that'll probably be the best time to change those valve cover gaskets is when I got that top of the intake and all that kind of stuff out of the way when I'm working on that oil pressure sensor. This one I don't think I can get with the impact from up top, so I'm just going to have to, quarter turn at a time, get to it, and maybe one day I'll get me a ratchet wrench. I think I may even have a ratchet wrench. I don't know what I'm doing all this manual labor for. I know what it is. I can't find it in that garage full of crap I've got everywhere. So, If you guys could see, these bolts are sticking out like an inch past where they really need to be. These bolts are ridiculously long, unnecessarily long. Which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me as to why GM would make these bolts so long, but they did. So anyway, I'm not gonna make you guys sit through this. I'm gonna pull this one out here and then come up and zip the other stuff off, but I think I'm gonna pause you guys so that this video is not just stupidly long, and then bring you back when I start working on the other ones. Well, I think I've done what I could from the bottom. Looking at it again from the top, maybe I bent this out of the way. I gotta take my gloves off so I can feel. Maybe I can try to get something from the top. I don't know. It's not that it's mechanically binding or anything anywhere. I just can't see nothing. I think GM Engineering definitely could have put like some access holes in this support down here where you could just see and get to everything from the bottom. That would have been oh, I flicked the thing on the ratchet. That ain't good. There we go. If you'll notice, my ratchet has a twisty handle on it, which is kind of nice. When I break these bolts free, I don't have to, I can just twist them out. It's probably getting pretty close. Nope, not quite. Getting this thing back in might prove to be a little more difficult. So far, the two I've pulled out of the engine block itself, once I broke them free, they've been almost finger tight where you can just run them out with your finger. It's really nice. And there it is. So I got the two in the bottom on the engine, and then these two left here on the frame support, and then this should just slide right out. So be back in a minute. Here you can see I've gotten a little smarter, and instead of quarter turn at a time, you know, I put some extensions together, and now I don't have to bend so far over to get to the bolt. I can actually use this open space here to work and get this bolt out. So again, I'll finish getting these remaining bolts out and bring you back when I'm done with that. Okay, I'm back. I have now gotten all of the bolts out. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to crank on my jack a little bit, see if I can raise this side of the engine up, and see if I can get this to slip out the back. I don't know, we'll see. It's got a little dowel pin in there. You guys watch it and see if this is going to work the way I hope it does. I saw it moving. Did you see it moving? I can see it separated some from the motor. Let's see if that buys me anything. You guys watch it and see if I need to come up some more. I really don't want to come up too much. I think I'm gonna have to come up at least, well, I don't know, let's see. I think that dowel pin is out. Ooh, don't put your fingers under there. I've still got some room to come up before that exhaust starts hitting the fender wheel. I might have to do that. Let me scooch back and come up on the exhaust a little bit more if it will. I don't know, let's see. Let's see if that gave me enough clearance to fish it out. I don't know what the weather is like where you guys are, but here where I'm at, it is definitely a nice change of pace. So now I don't know what's holding me up. Is it that dial pin? What is this? Exhaust shields. Well, I don't understand. This should just slip on out the back. That wind's picking on up. I know you guys are probably hearing that in the video, and I'm sorry about that. I think that's going to be about the limits of my jack right now. So it's definitely that alignment pin that's keeping me from getting it out. And my exhaust is almost bottomed out on that. So we need to make this work. Oh yeah. Just had to That's definitely separated. I know why they put that exhaust shield on it, but golly. Is it actually a requirement? Is this something that actually has to be on here? Because it's definitely just in the way. Man. Let me keep fishing it, and I'll bring you back when I get her out. Okay, it's a miracle. I got it out. And I think with it being broken, it made it a lot more difficult because the top was just like it wouldn't do the thing that I needed it to do. But I was able to fish it out. Once I calmed down, wasn't so mad at it anymore, talked real sweetly to it, and then it came out. But as you can see, this is what I was talking about. Let's see here, get you where you can see. You can see that's obviously not doing its job anymore. Let's see if you can hear that. Every time you would press the gas, it would click and, you know, do all that. So, I don't see any GM stamping, so this is probably well, I mean, they go out every so many years anyway. So, anyway, we're going to replace this one with, you know, one from some other country. This is also not GM, but it's not broken. So we'll get this slipped in, get her bolted up, and that should be good to go. Now, like I said, the passenger side looked just as bad here, you know, from this perspective. And obviously, to me, this is pretty bad when you compare it to a new one. But it doesn't mean that it's broken here. I don't have an inspection mirror to look. And as I said previously, the passenger side usually, it doesn't get the abuse that the driver's side does. So there's usually not a reason, unless it's just vibrating the truck real bad or something. But I don't think I'm going to mess with it. And I think I'll put this other one on the shelf for when I have to do the driver's side again. It's inevitable. I keep vehicles for a long time. So, all right. Let me try to get this one, the new one, fished in. And then I'll set you guys back up in the engine compartment, and we'll get this slapped back in. Or maybe I'll bring you guys under here, right? This is kind of what I was talking about. So this is the part that goes to the little frame support where the engine mount is. This is the bolt. Look at how much bolt. That is completely unnecessary. I mean, it is. Oh. Now, why would I do that? Anyway, it's completely unnecessary to have a bolt that long. You need, what, 3 threads past the nut or the retainer for maximum grip. So, anyway, I'm also going to throw some anti-seize on all these just because, be nice for the next guy, or, you know, the next guy may be me. So I'm gonna do that, get this fished back in here. Here's the frame support. It's gonna go up through there and then slide over and sit in place. So anyway. All right, guys, I've got the thing in. It only took about 19 hours longer than what I had originally planned. So that's fine. A couple of modifications. yeah, few swear words here and there, and we got it finagled back in place. Right. I've already has my anti-seize on the bolts, and right now I'm just trying to get everything started before I let the jack down and set the engine on it all the way. But yeah, as you can see, I've already got these three in the bottom there started, and then I'm gonna get these four that go in the engine block here. I got to crawl under here and do it from the bottom. But we'll get this done real quick. I say real quick, nothing, and I repeat, nothing about this job has been what I would call real quick. So I may have to let the engine down to get these started. I think I will have to do that. Well, let me get these lined up and get them started, and then I'll. All right, guys, welcome back. We have done it, right? We've got the thing in, the motor mount. Obviously, you can see where I cut the sides of the heat shield off. I couldn't deal with trying to finagle that in there. With those add inches to it. So if I got to replace it again in a year or 2 years, then so be it. But I don't think it'd be that. I don't think it'd have that much of an impact. And I left the heat shield on where it mattered. So anyway, I think that's going to wrap this one up. Appreciate you watching. As always, get out there and do something.